Hey there, my friends. Have you ever felt like shyness and fear are holding you back from the life you truly want? That no matter how much you dream, something inside stops you from taking action. You're not alone. So many people struggle with this, feeling stuck, afraid of judgment, or doubting their own abilities. But what if I told you that you could change that in just 3 days? Not with magic, not with complicated techniques, but with a simple mindset shift and practice. Sounds interesting, right? Well, that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. This isn't just another motivational speech. This is about real change, something you can start doing right now to break free from fear and step into confidence. It doesn't matter where you're starting from, what matters is that you take that first step. So, take a deep breath, get comfortable, and listen with an open mind. By the end of this video, you'll have a new perspective, a new strategy, and most importantly, the belief that you can overcome shyness and fear, forever. And hey, don't just listen, let's make this a conversation. Drop a comment below and let me know, what's the biggest fear that's been holding you back? I read every single comment, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Alright, are you ready? Let's dive in. Chapter 1: Understanding the Roots of Fear and Shyness. Let's start with something important. Where do fear and shyness even come from? Have you ever wondered why some people seem naturally confident while others struggle with self-doubt? It's not just personality, it's conditioning. From a young age, we absorb messages from the world around us. Maybe you were told to be careful, don't make mistakes, or what will people think? Maybe you had experiences where speaking up led to embarrassment, so your brain decided, let's avoid that feeling at all costs. Over time, those little moments shape our behavior, making us hesitate, overthink, and avoid situations where we might feel exposed. But here's the truth: fear and shyness are not who you are. They're learned behaviors, which means they can be unlearned. You weren't born afraid to speak up. You weren't born doubting yourself. Somewhere along the way, those beliefs were planted, and now it's time to uproot them. And no, this isn't about forcing yourself to become a loud, overly extroverted person. It's about freeing yourself from the chains of hesitation. Imagine walking into a room and feeling at ease. Imagine expressing yourself without second-guessing every word. That's possible for you, and it starts with understanding that your fear is not the truth, it's just a habit. Now, take a moment to reflect. Can you think of a time when fear held you back? Maybe it was a chance to speak, to try something new, or to stand up for yourself. Hold on to that thought, because soon, we're going to flip that hesitation into confidence. Chapter 2: The Mind's Illusion. Fear is not reality. Alright, here's something that might surprise you: most of the fears that control us, they're just illusions. Think about the last time you felt nervous about doing something, maybe talking to someone new, speaking in public, or sharing your ideas. Your heart raced, your palms got sweaty, and your mind started running a million negative scenarios. But what actually happened in reality? Did the world end? Did people laugh at you? Or did things turn out fine? Fear tricks us into believing the worst will happen, even when reality proves otherwise. The human brain is wired to protect us, which is great when there's real danger. But when it comes to everyday fears, social situations, taking risks, stepping out of your comfort zone, your brain is basically overreacting. It's like a security alarm that goes off when there's no actual threat. So, here's a challenge: the next time fear creeps in, pause for a second and ask yourself, is this fear based on facts or just my mind playing tricks on me? More often than not, you'll realize it's just an exaggerated story in your head. And this is where change begins, when you stop taking fear at face value. When you stop believing that nervous feeling means stop and start seeing it as a sign to go. The difference between confident people and those who struggle with fear? Confident people feel fear too, but they act anyway. Now, I want you to imagine something. Picture a version of yourself that no longer hesitates. A version of you that steps into situations with ease, that speaks up without overthinking, that isn't trapped by shyness. That version exists, It's just waiting for you to let go of the illusions and step into your power. Stay with me, because next, we're going to take things even deeper. Chapter 3, Breaking Free, Rewiring Your Mind in Just 3 Days. Alright, now that we've exposed fear for what it really is, a mental illusion, it's time to break free from it. And no, this isn't something that takes years of effort. You can start shifting your mindset in just 3 days. How? By doing something incredibly simple but powerful, taking small, intentional steps outside your comfort zone, every single day. Think about it like this: if you wanted to get stronger physically, you wouldn't just think about lifting weights, you'd actually lift them even if you started small. Confidence works the same way. You can't just wait for it to magically appear. You build it by doing. So here's what I want you to do for the next 3 days. Day 1, do one small thing differently. Maybe that means speaking up in a conversation, making eye contact a little longer, or simply walking with your head held high. Something tiny, but intentional. Day 2, push a little further. Take that small action from yesterday and make it a bit bigger. If you said a few extra words yesterday, say a little more today. If you made eye contact, add a smile. The goal is to stretch your comfort zone, little by little. Day 3, take a bold step. By now, your brain is starting to realize, hey, nothing bad happens when I step up. So today, do something that would have scared you a few days ago. Maybe it's speaking up in a group, introducing yourself to someone new, or sharing your thoughts without hesitation. Here's the magic: once you prove to yourself that fear is just a feeling, not a fact, it starts to lose its grip on you. The more you act despite fear, the weaker it becomes. It won't disappear overnight, but suddenly, you're no longer controlled by it. And trust me, when you experience that first breakthrough moment, where you do something you never thought you could, you'll realize just how powerful you really are. Chapter 4, The Secret to Confidence: It's Not What You Think. Now, let's talk about something that most people get wrong about confidence. A lot of people believe that confidence comes from being naturally good at something. They think, I'll feel confident once I have more experience, once I'm more skilled, once I've earned it. But that's not how confidence works. Confidence doesn't come from being good at something. It comes from being willing to try, even when you're not good at it yet. Think about the most confident people you know. They weren't always that way. They became confident because they kept showing up, even when they weren't perfect. They weren't afraid to look a little awkward, to make mistakes, to learn in real time. So if you're waiting to feel ready before stepping up, stop. Readiness is a myth. No one feels fully prepared when they start something new. But the ones who succeed, they do it anyway. And here's the best part: every time you do something that scares you, you gain evidence that you can handle it. That's what builds real, unshakable confidence, not perfection, but action. So let me ask you, what's one thing you've been putting off because you don't feel ready yet? Hold on to that thought, because next, we're going even deeper into how to shift your entire mindset for good. Chapter 5, Silence the Inner Critic: You Are Not Your Thoughts. Now, let's talk about the voice in your head. You know the one that whispers, you're not good enough. What if you fail? What if people judge you? That voice has probably been with you for a long time, shaping the way you see yourself. But here's what no one tells you. That voice is not you. It's just a collection of past experiences, fears, and doubts that your mind has held on to. It's like an old recording playing on repeat. But guess what? You don't have to keep listening to it. You can change the script. The first step to silencing your inner critic is awareness. Start paying attention to the negative thoughts that pop up when you're about to step outside your comfort zone. Instead of believing them, question them. Ask yourself, is this really true? 9 times out of 10, you'll realize it's just fear talking, not reality. Then, replace those thoughts with new ones. Instead of I'm not good enough, tell yourself, I'm learning, and that's enough. Instead of what if I fail? Ask, what if I succeed? Instead of people will judge me, remind yourself, their opinions don't define me. The mind is like a muscle, it believes what you repeatedly tell it. So, feed it thoughts that empower you, not ones that hold you back. Because the truth is, you are far more capable than your fears make you believe. Chapter 6, Stop waiting for permission, own your space. Have you ever noticed how some people walk into a room and instantly command attention, not because they're the loudest, but because they carry themselves with certainty? It's not about arrogance. It's about owning your space. A lot of people, especially those who struggle with shyness, spend their lives waiting. Waiting for someone to invite them into a conversation, waiting for permission to speak up, waiting for the right moment to go after what they want. But here's the thing, if you keep waiting, life will keep passing you by. You don't need permission to be confident. You don't need permission to take up space. You don't need permission to go after what you want. The only person who can truly give you that permission is you. Start acting like you belong. Walk with purpose. Speak with certainty. If you're in a conversation, assume that what you have to say is worth hearing, because it is. When you stop shrinking yourself, people start paying attention. And no, this doesn't mean forcing yourself to be someone you're not. It just means owning who you already are. The world doesn't need another copy of someone else. It needs you, in your most authentic, confident form. So, let me ask you, what would your life look like if you stopped waiting and just went for it? Think about that, because next, we're going to talk about how to step fully into this new, fearless version of yourself. Chapter 7, The Power of Consistency, Small Steps, Big Changes. Alright, my friends, we've talked about overcoming fear, rewiring your mind, and stepping into confidence. But here's the final piece of the puzzle, the thing that separates people who wish for change from those who actually achieve it: consistency. Let's be honest, motivation comes and goes. You might feel pumped up right now, ready to take action. But what about tomorrow? What about next week? That's where most people fall back into old habits. Not because they don't want to change, but because they don't make it a daily practice. Think of it like this: if you go to the gym once, will you suddenly have a six-pack? Nope. But if you go consistently, even if it's just a little each day, the results will show. Confidence works the same way. It's not about one big, dramatic action. It's about showing up, day after day, even when you don't feel like it. So, here's what I want you to do. Commit to one small action every day that challenges your comfort zone. Maybe it's speaking up in a meeting. Maybe it's making eye contact. Maybe it's standing a little taller. Whatever it is, make it a habit. Because small, daily actions lead to massive, life-changing results. And don't worry about being perfect. You will have days when fear creeps back in, that's normal. The key is to keep going anyway. Confidence isn't about never feeling fear, it's about not letting fear stop you. Imagine where you'll be a month from now if you start today. Imagine how different your life could look in a year. That future is waiting for you. The only question is, will you take the first step? Now, stay with me, because we're about to bring everything together. My friends, we've come a long way in this journey. We've uncovered the truth about fear, shattered the illusion that it defines you, and built a roadmap to quiet confidence. Now, the real question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Because at the end of the day, no video, no book, no speech can change your life for you. Only you can do that. You don't need anyone's permission. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment. The only thing standing between you and the confident, fearless version of yourself is action. And remember, change doesn't happen overnight. There will be days when you slip back into old habits, when doubt tries to creep in. That's okay. Progress isn't about never falling, it's about always getting back up. So, here's my message to you: believe in yourself, even when it feels hard. Keep showing up, even when fear whispers that you can't. Because every small step forward is a step toward the life you deserve. Now, before you go, let me ask you this: what's the one thing you're going to start doing today to break free from fear? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if this message resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it too. Let's build a community of people who choose courage over fear, who take action instead of waiting, who own their space in this world. This isn't just a video. It's a movement. And you are part of it. I'll see you in the next one. Keep pushing forward. Keep believing. And most importantly, keep becoming the person you were always meant to be.